Our sixth wide receiver, Mr. A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles, finished as a wide receiver 5 last season. Pete, I'll kick this one over to you. You can kick it back to me if you'd like. The one
Okay.
thing that's interesting about A.J. Brown that I noticed, this is one of those not like a PFF, not like a deep digging stat here, but he's had 10 touchdowns in even number years. I thought that was interesting. So it's 2024, the year in which A.J. Brown has 10 total touchdowns again, 10 or more. He didn't last year. He obviously did the year prior. So, I mean, I think he's got a good shot at it. I like him in this offense, obviously. Devonta Smith's going to be good. I'm just talking, so I'll kick it to you and you could just give your rebuttal. I think this offense is just going to be steady as it goes. If there's one question about this Eagles offense and how it's going to work, it's the tush push without Jason Kelce. That's the one thing where it's like, okay, what's going to happen here? The defense is more of the question mark. This offense will be good. And if this offense is good, A.J. Brown will be good. And, while there's competition at the top, A.J. Brown will still be right there towards the end of the year. So I'm pretty comfortable with this ranking at 6. I'm pretty sure I had him at 6 in my own personal rankings, I believe.
Yeah.
But Pete, what says you on Mr. A.J. Brown going into this year with Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator in Philadelphia?
Yeah, one thing, Mackie, who's one of our mods in the Facebook chat, she says
Hey,
hello,
Mackie.
first timer.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for coming in.
Hey, cheers.
But yeah, AJ Brown for me is wide receiver 5. This guy was on pace for 1,995 yards after the first 6 weeks. He absolutely tore it up. Wide receiver 1 in fantasy. And then, he had some down weeks. The offense sputtered, and everybody that watched the Eagles last season just kind of saw that they just weren't right. It wasn't an AJ Brown thing. It was just that the offense just didn't adjust or make any changes, and they were just continuing to ride on the same philosophy and play calling that led them to the Super Bowl the year before, and they just didn't make enough adjustments. And I think that it was just a lack of good play calling, and I think AJ Brown, like what we saw in the beginning of the year, this is what he can do. He is capable of, honestly, call me crazy, like he's capable of being a borderline 1,800 to 2,000 yard receiver in a season. Is it going to be this season? I don't know, but like he's a freak athlete. And Kellen Moore is a huge upgrade at the offensive coordinator spot, something that they were lacking, since Steichen left last season. They were just dealing with a lot of inexperience last year, and they leaned on a veteran and AJ Brown in the beginning of the season to get them through, and they were chugging along, but offense got stale. There weren't really many adjustments, and it just kind of, they just fell. But he was wide receiver 5 still last year, even with, he let some people down in the championship. But if you had Eagles players, all of them let you down towards the
There was
playoffs last year.
also Jalen Hurts towards the end of the year got jammed up with that
Yeah.
knee injury, which I think he suffered against the Commanders.
Yeah.
Which
Well, and he
hampered him,
also
which
got hurt
like you
against
said.
he hurt his leg or ankle against the Rams as well. And that kind of started to kind of have things derail a little bit. But they were 21st in pass rate last season, and he was still the wide receiver 5. Now, granted, look, they bring in Saquon Barkley, so that could have an effect. But AJ Brown, I want to say last season, when it comes to targets in the red zone, he had 18 last season and a total of 10 catches last season. He only had 4 touchdowns. Like, it wasn't like he was doing a lot of his damage last season in the red zone. So if you're worried about Saquon Barkley coming over, like, it's not like that should have a huge effect on his output, because it's not like AJ Brown was scoring in the red zone a ton last year anyway. So I'm high on AJ Brown. I like him this year. Brown, for what it's worth, for wide receivers, inside the 20, had 6 touchdowns last season. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that was on Ross St. Brown. Apologize. He had 4 touchdowns, which drops him in like the 20s range. So, for what it's worth, Curtis Samuel had the same amount of touchdowns inside the red zone, and Jamar Chase was tied with him at 4 as well. So I like AJ Brown a lot this year. I like this whole Eagles offense. I'm high on Saquon Barkley. I'm high on everybody. I'm even probably higher on Dallas Goedert than some people. I like him a lot, AJ Brown.
All right, so let's move on to our next player. This one we're going